we're constantly looking for good ideas, whether it's from college or pro, but I do think adding some coaches with recent college background is helpful, not just schematically, but also understanding players and some of the different challenges of coaching players these days.
At what point did you realize you were going to overhaul the coaching staff? I mean, the Van Pelt move happened immediately after the season, but then everything else that happened. I mean, did you expect to go into the season with 6 new offensive coaches?
I think for me, going back, you're always trying to just find ways to get better. Certainly, there's different years that's going to look maybe like it did this year. Certain years, maybe it's just a difference in scheme, but it's just in the vein of trying to get better is all this.
You guys have signed 2 quarterbacks that have played a lot of football, started a lot of games, Jameis Winston, Tyler Huntley. With all the turmoil of that position throughout the last couple of years, 60-plus quarterbacks a year playing, how does that inform the way you approach that and how you have to stock up at that position now?
Yeah, we really think it's important to have a bunch of guys. Obviously, your goal is to have your starter healthy for all 17 games and beyond. That's every team's goal. But we know that is a position that's important for the football team, both in the meeting room, on the practice field, around the locker room. So we feel like adding good players is a good thing at that position.
Deshaun got really excited after that meeting with Ken, that he can't wait to work with him. Could you tell that they had sort of a synergy going on and that they were hitting it off really well, or how did that look?
They've spoken on the phone, so obviously that meeting was more about getting face-to-face and getting to know each other. But Ken's a former quarterback. Ken has played this game at a high level, so he understands quarterbacks, understand quarterback play. So those guys hit it off like most quarterbacks do.
If the Browns are chosen to play the Eagles in Brazil, what are the advantages and disadvantages of playing in the very first week?
Well, I just got off the phone with Mo, and he's on top of it, so he'll let us know. He'll let us know if we're playing there. Yeah, we'll see. As you know, it's us and Green Bay. Apparently, we don't know, they don't know, but we'll play anywhere, Tony. Wherever they tell us. We don't set the schedule. We don't really care.
But that long entryway into that first game, is that better than middle of the season?
It's a good question. We'll see. I think the travel itself is the same for both teams. So there's not really an advantage or a disadvantage in that regard. So I'm just waiting to hear, like all of us.
Is it better than playing them in the Link?
I would think any team is better playing in a neutral site than playing in their home site. But again, we don't set the schedule.
Kind of playing off okay, and Tony on just the coaching staff changes, especially on offense. When you go through that transition, just from where you're at now, you still have a lot of time to go. How has it been actually going for you with all these new faces in the building?
Yeah, it's been outstanding. Again, I'm really, really pleased with that room. I'm pleased with how Ken's getting a collaborative effort from everybody. Again, very fortunate to have Deuce Staley in there. Deuce has played this game at a high level. He's coaching a bunch of different systems. Adding Roy Isfan, Andy Dickerson in the offensive line room, I think, is a great boon for our guys. Those guys work really well together. Tommy Reese, like we talked about, a guy that has recent college experience, adding him into the room. So I think what's been fun to watch is how Ken has been able to get a lot out of everybody. So it's a place where guys are sharing, guys are bringing different things up, and we're throwing everything into the middle of the table and seeing what fits.
Not a single question yet about defense. The way the season ended in Houston, was that a shock to the team, the organization? I mean, there have been no changes on defense, and yet the season ended pretty badly defensively.
It's a good question, Tony. Obviously, no one was happy with how it ended, and we know, and we knew in the moment, we knew watching the tape, we know now that we have to play better in a moment like that as a team. But I don't think it's fair to discount the defense in total. So we played really good defense, historic defense at times. We know we can play better. Coach Schwartz is committed to making sure that we play better. So those are things that we'll work through.